Link is now out. I'll put it in the WhatsApp. Is now out. I'll put it. Oh dear, it's always the same issue with this bloody thing. But anyway, welcome in everybody, and welcome to round 1 of the 2 litre hot rods. At, I'm going to butcher it, because even though it's a British name, I'm still going to butcher it. Bethlehem Raceway. We're going to turn up these engine notes just a tad, because it seems to be a little bit quiet. So they're getting in their final little bit of a warm-up. We'll then be going to the official practice, then our quali, and then the heats and so forth. You know the gist, you know what's going to happen. So let's start. I'm going to look around and see what people are up to. I'm not sure whether that's the optimal racing line, doing zoomies around the guy with the ambulance, but okay. Do what you gotta do. I have to admit, it's quite a different engine note with these cars compared to the last event we had. They don't scream, and I tell you what, they're quite a bit slower. But, you know, still 2 litres fun enough. It's nimble, it's going to be light. Hopefully the braking should be a bit nicer, because I saw some people in the last event were a bit... yeah, let's just say they were struggling. But, no, it looks like everything is good here. I'm just going to make sure everything stream-wise is correct. Sorry for just deafening you guys slightly there. But I just got to make sure everything is set up correctly. You know how these things are. Yeah, right. Everything's looking good. Tickety boo. Tickety boo. Let's go on board for a little bit. Oh, okay. As soon as we go on board, they hop off the throttle and they jump to the pits. Good start. That was Walters. I'm going to do last names, I think, here, because it's just easier for me. Obviously, mine keys. Hearden. Hayward. Oh, fucking hell. Maybe not. Maybe I'll have to jump between first names and last names. Obviously, that amazing Elliot Tancock, aka myself. Looks like the practice might be coming down to a heat. Let's watch Mr. Martin, Mikey's. Fastest, yeah. So there are certain points where the server may have a minor glitch. I'm just letting you know the fastest lap is definitely not a 3.3 second lap, unless he's in a top fuel dragster. But I doubt that's going to happen. Right, I'm currently using a second screen to catch up, so if anyone is in here, chat away, and I'll respond as well as I can. Right, it looks like everyone's hopping off, so we're going to go to a little break while we get ourselves ready for practice, so be right back. straight to quali we go, and as you all know how the quali usually runs, I'll be put in a session. Generally, each person will have a car in just that one car in each session. Now, the only problem with that is because I am the commentator, aka the spectator, I can see everyone in the pits, and it's telling me they're in the pits. Now, obviously, they are not, because if I quit and come back to the pits, you can see lap times are already being completed. The fastest currently is Keegan Martins with a 15.4, 2/10 over, and just as I say that, Keegan comes in with a 15.3. So they're doing constant laps as I'm here. So for the next 10 minutes, sorry for you folks, it's going to have to be looking at the data in front of us. Now what I can do to make it a bit more in depth, I can click here on timetable, and then we can see which people are doing, because some people may have a better sector. Oh, that's obviously a pretty bad, poor outlap sector. Some people are doing 15.2s, 15.3s, 15.3s, and currently the slowest, Ruben, who's done a 16.0, is first sector. It's a 16.4. I'm pretty sure he could smash that quite easily. But as you see, look, they're improving. Green means they're improving on their personal best. Purple means they are the fastest in that sector. And when it's white or non-coloured like this, it means no actual improvement. Now, fastest, yep, Keegan's gone 15.2. Let's see if he, yeah. So we have a 15.208, a 15.248, 15.293, and 270. As I say that, 15.3, 3, another 4, an 8, and then a 9. And Marlon Walters has yet to do a representative lap time. Okay, so I see somebody go face to face. I'm really bad at recognizing the sponsorship, so you're gonna have to let me know who that is. I think if I remember, I think it's Yako. I think, but we're gonna have to double check. So just around 3 minutes are gone, and we're still in the 15.2. Some drivers may have hit their peak. Thought, yep, I thought it was Yaku. Have hit their peak. Just speak of the devil, he's already gone just under 15.5, so he's improved there. That's his best one so far. Some, like me, may have gone out, done their fast lap straight away, and then no longer to improve. Others are able to find those hundredths or milliseconds for when it matters. I would be interested one day. I know this is mostly oval racing and dirt track, but I would love to see, maybe for a funny event, we do some circuit racing. And in circuit, I mean more than a mile long at least. Oh, Stoffel pinches pole by 3 thousandths of a second now. Just takes it at 2.05, and then improves with a 1.84. So he's found a bit of time, and the delta has gone to 200ths of a second now to Keegan Martins. Just for you guys, should I go out and do a lap with a mouse and keyboard? Be interesting, wouldn't it? No, of course not. Now, also to any other viewers that are watching in any Discords, I hope you're having a good time. You know who you are. Oh dear. Now, also, I will not be joined by my other commentator. He's having to deal with a little demon, and he's also having some family time, which is perfectly fine. But so that means you will be having to put up with this English mug and this English accent for longer than you would preferably like. But I hope I don't become too much of an annoyance for you, and I do hope you enjoy yourself. Right. Let's come back and have a look, see. We're still at the 15-1. Now, last time I said this, somebody went and bettered it, so let's jinx it. Will anyone get into a 15-1-5-0? Can they break it onto the lower half of a 15-1? Go on, boys. I'm tempting fate here. One of you surely must have that little spurt more just to put it on. Let's double check that everything's coming through nicely. It is. Okay. And luckily, everything is holding up. Well, while we have 2 minutes to go, just announce that if anyone here is interested, anyone viewing, you think you have what it takes, or you want to come in and give this a go and see where you stack up, in the description of this current live stream and video, there is a Discord link to the SAOL Discord server, which if you do join in and come in, just say that you've come in through the live stream, and then we'll be able to give you assistance and show you on how you would be able to get yourself set up. Now, it's not going to be where you just turn up and drive. You're going to have to put in a good amount of practice, and trust me, quite a lot of laps just to get yourself to a point where you're comfortable and competent with the car, because we won't just allow you to turn up with no prior practice, due to we've had situations where people have just been inexperienced and have caused chaos for everyone involved, and we know that's not fair. So you are going to see the race. Currently, the only reason you're seeing lap times is the way the qualifying's been set up. So naturally, in maybe Formula One or a SAOL course or competitors only or things like that, you would see the qualifying go. But the reason they've set it up like this is prior, because it's such a short track. If you were trying to do a qualifying lap and somebody then came out onto the track to start their out lap, they could obstruct you and you could crash into them. So this is just purely for the qualifying. When it comes to the race, you're going to see everyone on the grid. You're going to see everything happening. So it'll be lovely and good for you guys, so you don't have to just read up on numbers. I promise you that. Okay, so the current fastest is still Stoffel, and all the way down to Ruben is less than half a second. That's how tight the grid is here. Face to face, Mr. Yaku is P8. Not a problem, mate. Not a problem. Much better you ask and me tell you than you be thinking for the whole time. Are we just going to be looking at some screens? Right. We're going to go to a minor admission break, and we will be back for Heat 1. Okay, Heat 1 is on the way. Okay. Let's make sure everything on the stream is good. Everyone can hear me. We have good connection. Yeah, okay. So, this will be a 20 lap race, and let's hope the drivers have remembered to put in the correct, or at least the adequate amount of fuel, because last race round, let's just say some drivers were a bit, I think, too focused on their setup, and they didn't really think about, oh, maybe I need fuel for these laps. And last event, 2 laps prior, the leader ran out of fuel. And I believe didn't even finish. He wasn't even able to coast. Right. Now we just wait for this countdown up here. And then we're good to go. It's going to put them all on the grid. It's going to put us on the grid, but we're going to very quickly pop away to the rear. So let's do that quickly. Let's get ourselves out the way. And let's have a look on the grid. So pole is going to be Stoffel, followed by Keegan Martins, Kian Marku, Dennis, Martin Malan, Mr. Race, face to face, sorry, Yaku, Ruben, and let's not look at that guy. I think we're gonna go. Let's go P3, because then we get a good view of everyone and what they're going to do. I think we might even be quite brave and go on an onboard view with him. No, no, no. This way. There we go. And let's bring it down, because then we get to see who's going to get a good start, who's going to get a bad start. Right, 30 seconds, folks, and then we are ready for Heat 1. Okay, nice little bit of Gran Turismo sort of vibes now. Coming down to a very slow look. Oh, good start. Oh, somebody stalled, I think, or just didn't engage. And we are away. Easy, fellas. Let's go up to the front. Kian followed by Stoffel. So Stoffel's lost out from the pole position. Kian is following. And we have Marku going a little bit wide, looking like the rear is a bit loose. Still covers it. Dennis follows into 5th, and we have Martin. Face to face, Yako, Ruben, and okay, so it was Malan. I think that struggled to engage first gear, or was a bit gentle, shall we say, with the clutch, or maybe I'm not really sure, but it just seemed like they didn't get away very well. Got to change of position up ahead. It looks like Marku and Dennis get a little bit close. I'm not entirely sure Dennis was enough alongside, but you know, now Marku's now going for an outside line, which is now going to leave him vulnerable to Yaku, and the same thing happens again. Yaku goes in, and Marku gets tagged around. Well, not tagged around, but gets a little bit squirrely due to the contact. Okay, so the fastest lap currently set out there is a 15.7, currently set by Stoffel. Pretty sure those lap times are going to come down a little bit, considering where we were in qualifying. Now, the top two are breaking away quite nicely. They've nearly got a second now to Kian, who's got Dennis right up his back bumper. Let's go on board with Dennis. Good bit of advertising for Trustworks, I've just noticed on the back of the car as well. Dennis seems to have the pace, but he just doesn't have the room to pass, and doing so is pushing Kian to be a bit more aggressive with his driving, and they're catching up now to the leaders. And they're bringing Martin with them, as well as Jaco and Marku as well. So yes, it's not actually as over as I thought it was going to be. We're only just over halfway on race distance. All to play for. Stoffel is still hunting down Kyogen. Dennis, I think a bit of minor desync, but also wasn't expecting Kian to brake, I don't believe. Let's have a look further down. So we have Marku, then we have Jaco, then we have Ruben Foray in 8th, and it seems Malan has retired back to the pits. It's a shame. Kian's car, or maybe a setup, it looks very loose in the rear. He's sliding out the corners like crazy. Oh, and there was contact up at the front between the leaders, I believe. Kyogen gets hit. Stoffel goes wide. Oh dear. Stoffel gets tagged, spins round into the grass. Rejoins and carries on, but that's really hampered his race now. So you have Kyogen, then Kian, then Dennis in P3, followed by Martin and Marku. Then we have a bit of a gap back to Jaco. And Stoffel is currently out the running with around a 4.2 second gap. So 3 laps to go. And Kyogen's got a bit of a gap of around 3 to 4 tenths now over Kian, who's having to be very defensive from Dennis coming at him. Yeah, it looks like this may be how it's gonna finish unless Kian or Dennis decides to really pull the plug and just go all out attack mode. But we have only just a lap. We're on to the final lap as it is now. Kyogen's got it. Kian's gone slightly wide, and it looks like Dennis is thinking about it. He does go for it, you know. Wheel to wheel. And across the line, it's Kyogen, then Kian, then Dennis. Martin Meinke's 4th. Marku goes in 6th. And Jaco. Alright, guys. Hope you enjoyed Heat 1. We will be back after this mild little intermission break. we're back for another 20 lap heat. Oh dear. Okay, ladies and gents, let's get ourselves back to the pits. Okay, so let's have a look. Who've we got? Stoffel's going to be on pole. Hopefully he keeps it and doesn't get turned around this time. Alongside him, oh dear, is going to be Marku, then Dennis, Martin Meintjes, Kieran Martins, Kian Aywood, Marlon Walters, Jakob. I struggle with his name like crazy. And Ruben Foray. So let's go. Mid pack P5. Right, 30 seconds, folks. And we are ready to go. Are we going to get repeats of round one? Or are we going to get a completely new winner coming up through? It is hard to say. I have broken English, okay? Or as the Americans would say, I have the dumb English, apparently. Anyway. Let's get ready. Good luck, Yaku. Oh, and Marlon still once again has a... He just doesn't seem to get the pull away. And Stoffel is blitzing off into the lead. Followed by Marku, who gets a little bit tail happy coming in. Dennis, and then we have Kyogen and Martin having a little squabble. Then we have Kian. Then we have Yako. I'm never gonna say it, mate. I can't do it. Followed by Ruben, and Walters is bringing up the rear. Right, let's have a look here. So Dennis is gonna go for a P2. Makes the move cleanly in the braking. Marku thinks about going around the outside, but just can't make the corner. And has to concede. It looks like he's putting his intent on that he wants to go down this inside. Makes contact with Dennis, which spins Dennis into another car. You could see it coming. You could see Marku had made the intent that he was going to go for the corner. And that's cost Marku a couple positions as well now. Geoghegan's got a 2.2 second gap to make up to Stoffel, which I don't see happening anytime soon. He's got Martin behind him in P3, Marku's P4, Yako Visaki? I don't know. I tried it. You're P5. Then we have Kian P6, Ruben P7, Marlon P8 battling with Dennis, who Dennis is going to go around the outside and take it. And, everyone else, that's it. So let's have a look at the front. So the gap has come down from 2.2 to around 2 seconds. So he is making gains, but I don't believe there's enough laps left for him to really challenge. Martin's keeping him honest, and so is Marku. And then we have a 1.1, now 1.3 second gap to Yaku, who's being chased down by Kian. Dennis is sadly having to bring up the rear. And then we have around a 2-second gap to Marlon. Ruben goes very wide and hits the guardrail. Not having fun back there. Let's go back to the front. And Stoffel's responded and opened the gap back up to 2.2. So it's pretty much back to what it was prior to all the argy-bargy moments. He's actually stretching it out now, and he seems to be really, really pushing it. Alright, let's go on board with Mr. Martin and see how he's getting on. His rear mirror completely full with that bright pink and blue. 106, I believe, of Marku. Oh, Marku is hungry for that P3. Really eyeing it up. Let's go on board a little bit and just see for a couple of laps.